Hey guys, it's been a while, hasn't it? A lot of things happen and, well, I'm not sure what's gonna be good or bad. But all I can say is, winter season came around, and there's a lot of things that goes on. I'd like to say something to you. The thing is, we all eventually will get to a point when we might not see a lot. Or not a lot of people want to watch the same person over and over again. And I don't blame people if they get sick of a certain person. I was told to leave YouTube back then. I was told that I'm good for nothing. A lot of people will try to knock others down, try to be rude. But all I can tell you is just keep going. If someone tries to knock you down, just don't let them. If they knock you down, well, they're just gonna get exhausted and tired. Then eventually they'll give up. All I say is just keep building, keep making, and keep improving. If something gets destroyed or sabotaged, that's alright. You got something to learn and keep improvements on. Maybe you can make something even better, stronger, smarter. Though, there's a lot of people that ask me this. Nikki, where did you came from back then? Did you go to any schools or anything? Because we can't trust you if you didn't go in any school. And I said, look, I just don't want to talk about it. It's just a really bad past. Uh, I guess the time has come to it, hasn't it? I used to be part of one school, and for a lot of things, I mostly was put into a school bus repair crew, but there was a really true evidence people dug up years ago, when I was actually kicked out at 8 years old. They were upset finding out real evidence, how much drugs were used, how much people got high to drug smoke and chemical warfare stuff being experimented. All that back then was really terrifying. But I will not explain much, but all I can say is pick a school wisely. If a school will treat an Ostom better though, if your child has a Ostom, learn everything about Ostom before you make a choice. Many parents made this mistake and end up destroying their own Ostom's dream and anything, and never get them the proper equipment or better tech that they needed for their generation. And of course, don't lecture your own child. If your child has a Ostom, don't lecture it. Well, a little is okay, but lecturing it too hard, it just shows like the sea bass. The sea bass basically gets caught by me, but it just shows once you go too far and reel in the child of yours that has Ostom and never cared for it, you upset it. You make it have a hard time. So, if your child doesn't have Ostom, in other words, I suggest you still look for a good school. A good school that doesn't harm your child, doesn't have rude people. If you had to look up about people's records to get to know who did what and who did not, so if you find out someone did something bad, then you know that school ain't perfect if they're working in it. Of course, you could give them a second chance, but if that backfires, I suggest you don't. But if you have a child that has autism, please take good care of it. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. And understand a lot of things what autism likes and dislikes. Because if your child has autism, I suggest you get to know it more. Sadly, my dad didn't know a lot about me. It's like back then, he said that he thinks he knows, but in correction, he doesn't. And it is really sad. So many people even point that out, realizing my dad doesn't even know anything about me. What I do, what I've done, what I managed to achieve. All I get is shoved aside, told that I'm good for nothing, that I'm a lying shit and nothings. But don't be harsh on my dad. He sometimes makes his own mistakes and regret it later. Of course, he never talks or wonder if I have a solution or answer. All I get is just shoved aside, told that I'm a waste of time. And that upsets me. Never let me learn or develop better. All I get is treated like I'm nobody. And a lot of people even have harassed me before. And some parents would do is pretty much defend their child. Tell people what happened, other people will defend, and there will be a huge discussion until they caught after they caught the bastard who caused the trouble. The bastard has to pay up the fine, what they started. But if they don't, and don't even show up in court, well, that means a bounty hunter be sent, then yeah, big trouble. But before I get off track of that, I will say, at least my mom's trying her best to understand me, know what I am saying, and try not to be really rude. And she is kind. She knows I struggles on saying certain things. I have a hard time. And my social skills might not be the best, but at least I try socializing with people. And some of my friends even avoid me like a plague, which is sad. Even when we have certain games, we all never even get a chance to play. And of course, there was also a video I was going to do with my friends, play Planetary Annihilations, and we were going to do a 2 versus 2 match. But modded, so that means we got more options. But that never happened, way back then and up. But, of course, people have their own choices and corrections and other things, and they have their own choice. If they want to do it, they could, or not. And they don't have to worry, since they're behind their own screen, no one can get to them. Meaning, whoever is coming won't be able to get to them. So, no matter what, people can do whatever they want and such. But, of course, there will be a certain extent. All I just hope is we all could agree on something that we all could really easily agree. And, of course, a lot of you might not agree, but I will not be rude. Besides, it's not even worth it to be rude at. And I'll be straightforward. I'll be straight on forward with you. It's just the way how things are, I could tell a lot of things changes. Like, there could be a difference on each person who will understand, yeah, and who don't. And based on what conditions. Like, due to me having autism, not a lot of people understand me. And that's when my sister, little Natasha, well, there's two of my sisters that has the same name, Natasha's. Only we separate them by calling one big Natasha, one as little Natasha. So, little Natasha, she took on the better advantage, finding out that I have a hard time, and trying to be more superior. Which, after she goes too far, that wasn't okay. And my mom was right about a lot of things. Until my sister learned so many things years later, karma will come to her like a bitch. And she learned that the hard way. Of course, she found out that I improved, luckily, but she learned a harsh fate of, well, being rude to a family member or someone could lead to consequences and troubles that are way larger. And of course, I remember when my dad found dishes hidden around the house. He was not happy. That was way back then. So, when he wasn't happy, and realizing and putting the pieces together, he realized Natasha planned to try to frame me. And that was too far. So, he told me saying that if we do see her come back someday, he's going to try his best to remember and have her do all the dishes. And I said that if you remember it, so many days later, nothing like that happened. I guess time had came to him. So, you'll probably wonder what happened and why I'm not posting much on Common Server Clan Takeover type of episodes or any other things. It's just because, well, I'm having a hard time, and due to a lot of problems, I was upset. My mom trying her best to understand what's wrong with me, but I guess it's better I explain it on this video. Due to a lot of pressure and buildup and problems, I just have a hard time. It's not easy for a Ostum to deal with a lot of pressure buildup, no matter if it's a male or female, and no matter what side they're on. If they're American, Japanese, China, like shining down the chime hallways to like different paths. It all depends on where the Ostum could be from or how much they struggle. And me and other Ostums, we have chatted in a huge Discord server we have, and made like mini groups where each of us talk about where we're from and how harsh our life was. Of course, for me, I have a really hard time. But you compare it to others in their own times, you would realize how hard they have it. So, since I have a hard time, I'm just trying to do my best to improve, so that I could do something better. But how things are going, how everything is, I don't know. Either it's even worth it or not. And so many awesomes like me and Mayors, even like Dash also has a hard time. She have a hard time too. All I could say is, when we have a lot of problems and these things piling up, we just want to be left alone. Or maybe do something fun with the family or have fun with everyone. But due to things what happening and the prices are going up, eventually a lot of things are just going to get too expensive. There'll be too much sacrifices and more debt. and then we end up into arguments over and over. That's how life will go. Eventually we all argue and can't get along. So, if you encounter someone that has autism, why not be nice and have a good time with them? Don't spread hate speech or any hatred against them. Besides, we already have it hard enough due to so many problems that happen. And we don't want to deal with any more hate speech due to political stuff and, you know, all other things. Which we also did have to deal with problems like the year before, which every Awesome did get attacked by woke people. And yeah, it's pretty bad. Me and other people, we've been attacked so many times. But I will say, if you ever feel like if you're one of those Awesomes got attacked by a woke person, my own suggestion is leave the area immediately. Don't go there. Report the woke person to the police officers and have them deal with the person. Make sure you tell them what happened on your story and be honest. But it will give you one advice though, for anyone who does care. Because if there's one thing, I will say this. I will not want to get into this political shit or anything, but I will say this. If you encounter someone that's being woke online and causing problems to a Austin, and you see me or any other Austin are getting more stressed out, no matter if it's a male or female Austin, or wherever they're from, America, Germany, Japan, or wherever lands they're from, or another world, just be nice and don't make the day worse, please. We already got the worst, and we don't want to deal with it. So if it happens and you think it's a fun idea to be rude, well, I think it's be best you leave. But if you're willing to be nice and visit and like enjoy things, I wouldn't mind. Just as long as you're a nice person, then I'm happy. And that's why I will say, enjoy things where you can. Me and our Awesomes, we're trying our best to enjoy things, and due to how these things are going on, I don't think there'll be a lot of things left for any Awesome to go around. So once the time hits, well, consider this as a really rare sight to see or hear from a Awesome ever again. As this recording, even if I still have more videos going around, just keep in mind, if there's no more videos after all is you already gone through that are released from the scheduled, and there's no more, then that might mean that was the last recorded type of thing and the last recorded meshes. So, once time hits, I am very sorry that I might not be around. But best of luck, alright? And I'll see you on the time. Bye.